Our next session, here is Alpha being saddled with my English saddle that I used to use with my equines. It's going to be a hot day. It's in the early 90s, but it's 10 o'clock, so it's still reasonable for us to be out here working and maybe ground driving in the big pasture, but right now we're mowing the big pasture. But that's okay, actually. We want the boys to get used to unusual sounds and sights. So we might want to just go out there with just the lead line and the saddle. We're going to be adding weights. Okay, of course the cinch is too big, but can we go twice around? It would be helpful if we had another person here, right?
It'd still be too loose.
Well, can you go over his neck and back down?
It won't tighten though, it'll just be loose and it'll...
Yeah, okay, well then let's think about using a different cinch. We're gonna make this do one small step at a time. I've had people tell me you can't ride alpacas. I disagree. YouTube disagrees because there are many.
It doesn't have a horn either. Nothing to hold on to.
I know. That's because it's an English saddle. So yeah, I know. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry I don't have anybody to handle this camera, so I have to do both. Then here, how about this? Oh yeah, right. Can we make do? That's the idea. Can we somehow, I can get you some clippies. Otherwise, I was going to use this harness that we've used in the past to help us with all the straps. There eventually will be butt ropes and harnesses, straps across the front. Do you feel it's tight enough? Still not?
It's gonna make him uncomfortable.
Okay, let's see. We just want to make it tight enough so it doesn't end up under his belly. Do you feel it's tight enough for that? Certainly not tight enough for anybody to sit in it yet, or even to put weights on it. But the stirrup on the right side could be made shorter. Can you shorten it? We did oil this saddle, clean it up, and put the stirrups back on. It's pretty obvious how you shorten the stirrups. Make them as short as you can with the holes provided. Yeah, and I like the way you just touched his neck. To him, that means, okay, I better stand still. And that's true with camelids in general. I watched, again, a YouTube video last night about llamas. And llamas, our camelids, they have the same issues. And on that YouTube video, the person that was working with his llama said that they don't like to be touched on their legs because if they're in a llama fight with another llama, the llamas tend to go for the legs. I never had realized that before I heard him say that on the YouTube show that I watched last night. His mouth is open. I'm not sure why. We're going to observe that. His ears are a little bit back. I'm looking to see where Beta is, because Beta usually watches, and I am sure that oh, here he is. Here's Beta. When he watches, he's learning. But to really learn, he has to do. So once we get this done with Alpha, we'll do it also with Beta. There's no rush to ride my alpacas, but there is definitely end goals that we are aiming for, to have local family children ride my alpacas on my 20 lineal miles of ranchos trails here, outside and all around the ranchos, which is contiguous to Lake of the Pines, where no motor vehicles are allowed. His mouth is still open. You see, I think he is trying to get accustomed to the feeling of having this saddle pad, an English saddle on his back. And that's good. That's could be our main objective today. But look how he's standing there, letting you adjust all these things. He could be jumping around, moving his hips, but he's being patient. And because I still hear that the tractor's in the big pasture, and since this is the first time we've put this saddle on him, we'll just walk around here if we don't feel we're ready for the next behavioral objective. Would you feel comfortable walking around with him here?
Around here, yeah, this is really...
Okay, all right, that's all right. One small step at a time. We'll get there. I'm going to tell you a short story. When I lived in, I think it was San Mateo County with my horses. Yes, it was San Mateo County. There was a lost horse. And the mounted patrol in San Mateo County was not willing to go out and look for lost animals. Oh, it just dropped. It just dropped. Okay. All right. That's okay. We definitely are learning what we have to do to tack up these boys with saddles. All right, our neck, come back in, put the harness on that I just brought out. Put the harness back on. We need a better way to cinch that saddle on his back. But we now have a saddle rack here. It's not rainy season. I'm comfortable just leaving it out, covered, yes, with that saddle pad. All right, now put the harness back on. Every night I try to watch one of my old videos and just notice what progress we've made. And I watched one where we first put this harness on and used it. So let's see what he's going to say about having his special purchased harness for alpaca and other smaller, large farm animals like sheep and goats. Okay, now he's saying, what is it this time, teacher? I know this fits because we've had it on him before. It wasn't easy to figure it out at first, but we did. I've bred, raised, and trained Morgan horses and mini cows for many decades. And although this looks kind of complicated, once you've done it a few times, getting all these straps and harnesses and croupers on, even the tack you need for carts looks very complicated, but it becomes routine. Routine to you and routine to the animal. What I'd like you to do, and I wish we had another person, but we don't, can you ground drive him with that harness on, using his halter.
Try.
It's been a while since we've done that, but we are getting back to refreshing what we need to know in order to eventually pull these carts into the Rancho's trails with my alpaca boys. We stopped ground driving because we started working on doing saddle work, but have they forgotten? Because they were very good at it when we decided to start working on riding the alpacas. Will they be good at it today? Will Alpha be good at it today? We'll see, because we're doing it. And I'm videoing it so that we can upload it onto YouTube for the Urban Alpaca Girls Show. Good. We have rings on the halters. I've never seen a YouTube video where any camelid has been driving or been riding with any kind of bit in their mouth. And as a matter of fact, when I was working with my horses, I stopped using bits too. Urban Cowgirl Show will show you the years I've worked with training horses. Okay, so can you take the lead line off or wrap it around his neck and just ground drive him around here? Where ground driving is, a tug on the left means go to the left, a tug on the right means go to the right. And then if you do give and take tugs and you want them to back, you ask them to back. And if you want them to walk forward, you ask them to walk forward. Now I see that he just kicked out at that ground driving line. It's been a while. I think maybe he's forgotten. And remember, I'm Sonia Sokol, the Urban Alpaca Girl, 81 years old. Walk carefully on these pastures so that I don't trip. Hold on to fences. Try to keep the camera steady. I'm dedicated to helping people who want to learn how to train my alpacas, and all of these techniques are, as far as I can see so far, usable for any camelid, especially llamas who are bigger, who can take a heavier rider. And my sanctuary, Shadrach Farm Sanctuary for Large Farm Animals, is open to accepting llamas into the sanctuary for lifetime care. This is what we call the back pasture. We have alpaca pellets in there. We have water tub here. They love to stand in the water, sometimes lay in the water. What I would like for Tavis to do is to make sure he stays behind Alpha, because if he's got a cart, he can't have the cart next to him where Tavis is. And I'll explain that to Tavis. Tavis has learned how to work with my alpacas better than anybody I know. And the alpacas definitely respect him and like the routine. We did have another helper, and she had an accident, is no longer helping us. It was an accident on an electric bike. Can you stand behind him, do you see? Because if he were pulling a cart, it couldn't be next to him like that. Okay, all right, now, Beta's out here, munching away, but he's watching. Alpha's ears are going back. I watch body language a lot with livestock. It tells me a lot about what they're thinking, what they might next do. He's looking around. I think we'll start doing some more ground driving and training for cart driving, interspersed with riding and saddle training. It's okay to go back and forth because these are going to be alpacas that are going to accommodate the sanctuary for donation events. I'm finally working with an insurance broker who's going to help me be properly insured for these kind of events. And although I'm not in a rush, I'm definitely aiming to have donation events of this sort, both at this sanctuary site in the ranchos and at my 20-acre site in Golden Oaks, where I have a very, very nice large arena, a lot of tack, also have a cart there. We're going to have events at both sites. Look how routine it is right now. Right now here in our back pasture. Stay behind them. Try to stay behind them like a cart would be behind them. Beta's out here munching, but watching. You see he's looking over now. Remember, I'm a credentialed secondary math teacher. I have had excellent professors at UCLA when I got all my teaching degrees and credentials. And I'm using those skills when I teach and train my livestock. Try to stay behind him like a cart would be behind him. See, he will not be allowed to do that in a cart. We're not going to hitch him to a cart unless he understands that that is not the right answer. And I have seen sheep and goats and alpacas and llamas pulling carts. I know we can get there, one step at a time. You see, we've got my tractor out there working on cutting down the weeds that have gotten too high. The irrigation has made the big pasture partially green, but I don't have enough well water to keep it as green as I do back here in what I call the back pasture. And of course, Alpha can hear the tractor, but do we want him to be out there when the tractor comes by? I don't think so, not yet. It's been too long since we've done the ground driving. We're just going to make sure we remind him what it's like when somebody's behind him, giving him cues to go forward, to go right, to go left. And he's looking at all the neighbors' yards here. Is there anything here I should be concerned about? By the way, this morning in my HOA newsletter, somebody for the first time had to remove a rattlesnake from her property. I have never seen one here, but I wouldn't be surprised if someday I do. I have a lot of wildlife here. Families of wildlife, families of deers, families of turkeys. Are you telling him to go right and left, or is he choosing it? Trying to, okay. Okay, now he's kicking out because he feels, all right, we've got to do some more desensitization. On the desensitization YouTube that I watched last night with the llamas, he had two llamas that have different personalities. And he showed us how he dealt with their replies to his desensitization cues. And of course my two alpacas, oh yeah, okay, all right. See, I know what this is. I come in here to, oh no, oh my goodness. Is he confused or what? I would say try to back him up now. Say back, 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 pull right and left, stay behind, back. Good, good. Okay, well that was a good teaching event. We'll actually be practicing that on purpose in the future. You see, you can't do that with the cart, so we can't ever hitch him to the cart if he does that with the drive lines. We've got to make sure he knows that's the wrong answer. Apply pressure when they give you the wrong answer, and remove the pressure when they give you the right answer. Try to stop when they're giving you the right answer. Okay, he's choosing to go in there again. Maybe he's trying to get away from the ground driving lines. This is their play pool. What is he thinking right now? What is Beta thinking right now as he watches his buddy Alpha get into the play pool when he's in school? Yeah, he understood by your tugging, but right now he's replying to lead line direction. And we want to make it so that we don't even have to have a lead line on him, that he will understand what we're asking him to do just with the drive lines, who eventually will be the cart reins. He needs more desensitization. I am sure that we got him past all of that months ago when we were doing more of this every day. As I get other volunteers to help me, we're going to have more lessons. We need more repetition. We've just been meeting a couple times a week. I would like to meet at least 4 times a week at mutually acceptable times. And I always, when I come out to give carrots in the morning, tell the boys whether or not they're going to have school today. By the way, I read yesterday that since the COVID pandemic, the drop out of school rate has increased tremendously in California, much more than it used to be historically allowed. School used to be required. Truancy used to be criminal. And during COVID, attitudes and laws were changing, and we just haven't gotten back to this concept that public education, especially for young children, is very, very important. Whether it be a charter mode or a private school mode, they had to be in school. And I've said this before, from the point of view of being a math teacher, I am not too confident that homeschooling will help them learn math, because very often the parents are either unable to teach the math or too busy to take the time to teach the math. And unless it's a requirement and evaluated and graded with communication, follow-through communication between the teacher and the parent, and if there is a tutor, the tutor, it's not going to be done very effectively. We're going to do this more often. We're going to especially do this, I'd say next time with Beta. We'll get back to saddle training. We'll work on getting that saddle rigged right for the alpacas. And we'll show you on the Urban Alpaca Girl Show our progress. Any questions, please send them through the shows themselves. Subscribe so you'll know when the next show is uploaded, or email me, the Urban Alpaca Girl, directly at my email, soniasokolow@gmail.com. I'm showing you the untacking. Alpha's always been pretty good about untacking. Beta was the one that gave us a lot of problems, even taking the halter off, but he has recently been much, much better. If I'm teaching somebody calculus, I very often evaluate their ability to do the prerequisite skills. This is kind of what we're doing right now for cart driving. The prerequisite skill is to be able to be ground driven. And they were much better months ago, but that's because we stopped the repetition and started doing the saddle training. We're not in a rush. We'll do what has to be done no matter what the weather. We'll just try to schedule it when we avoid discomfort from the weather. Now Alpha is looking fine. He's not stressed. He's munching. Beta is here with him. The tractor is behind me making noises. They're not concerned. And is there anything, Tavis, that you want to say to the viewer concerning our refresh review letter lesson today?
I think he was doing better with ground driving and actually kind of guiding him where to go. You could use more of that. And yeah, I'm not too sure about that other saddle. I don't know if that's...
Okay, we have the cloth saddle that has some stirrups on it. But eventually, I want to be able to go with both of them in a saddle. So
I don't think that saddle's the right one.
Well, we're not sure yet, but we can get a better cinch. I have shorter cinches, so the next time we try the saddle on, I'll have some shorter cinches here to try to cinch it up properly. And we will have breast collars eventually, and we will have croupers, which will keep the saddle centered on the back. And if I could find an alpaca saddle, I would, but I would try to get one, but I haven't seen any for sale anywhere. So I'm trying to make one or two with saddles that I used to use for my mini cows and my horses. And the boys are just fine. We'll just open gates again. Close up. No, we leave this training area open, but there's no good grass here right now. When I was watching the video last night, this was all green because it was green from the rain. You can see around the training area, there are places that's not irrigated, but back there behind the sheds, we definitely irrigate every 7 o'clock in the morning. Goodbye for now, Sonia Sokolow. Thank you for watching.